We are live here with author Oyin Olugbile, the winner of the NLNG Nigeria Prize for Literature 2025. Congratulations on winning the 2025 Literary Prize. You had earlier mentioned that you were surprised seeing that your name was shortlisted, as you didn't apply personally. So, how did you feel when your name was announced winner?
I felt excited. I felt yeah, of course I knew I actually I was in it I knew that an application had gone in. Not that I was completely unaware,
Yeah.
right? But I'd completely forgotten instead because I just had a baby at the time when the long list came out. But then long list went on to short list of three
Yes.
and the excitement started. So announcing my book as the winner of the NLNG Prize for Literature for 2025 came with all of the feelings: shock, surprise, gratitude, disbelief. At some point, I was thinking someone was going to pinch me, and because I'm a dreamer, someone was actually going to pinch me and say, "Ah, you've been sleeping, this child," But yeah, I'm still in the euphoria of it, but as gradually coming to terms with my reality right now.
Okay, it's often said that every story starts with a seed. So, what moment, what moment actually sparked the idea of Sonia?
Mm. The moment that sparked the idea of Sanya came from a moment of the need to tell a narrative, to tell a story from a place of wonder, from a place of curiosity. At the point where I said I put pen to paper to say I was going to write Sanya, it was from the point of like I said, a point of wonder, of curiosity, of saying that certain things just do not add up for me, and I needed to tell it the way I understood it. And I believe that most, or even a large majority, a vast majority of all of the works of literature that we've all picked up, the ones that are really excellent or amazing, are usually written by the authors from a place of wonder, a place um of curiosity as well, and a place of creativity as well. So the point came from me saying, "Oh, I've read so many things about Shango, about Zorominyo, about Oduduwa, but listen, this is how I think the story should have been told, the way I understand it." And that's not to say that I couldn't have written Soya as a man, and I think I said this somewhere before, but with the way I understand it and the way I think that it was making sense to me at the time, it was just a woman that was in my head.
Okay. Talking about your character being a female, your book, Sonia, it actually, like you said, it reimagines Shango to be a female. And I remember during the book fest last month, you mentioned that you had expected some backlash from this. So as at then, you said you had not received this backlash.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah.
so now have you?
I have. I definitely have. I've had people ask me about gender and identity and all of that, which is actually what the book is aiming, or what is aimed to address anyways. But then there's been that misconception also about trying to promote the gay or the lesbian agenda, which when I heard it, I was like, okay, at what point did this happen? At what point did that happen? But you see, the thing with backlashes and criticism is that you said the same way I'm able to write something from a place of wonder, from the point where I understand it. I believe that the same goes for literature or any form of art. People would accept it or take it the way they understand it. And we cannot apologize for them. We can't. We can only just make room to say, if there are lots of acceptances, if lots of people are saying we like this work, we should also give room for the individuals who do not, who have a different opinion. You understand? And all I say is, oh, thank you for this backlash. Thank you for this a diverse view that you have. What it means is that you have read the book well enough for you to have an opinion about it. And which in itself is a testament to the fact that I've written something that someone can read, or something someone wants to read. Do you see my point here? So if backlashes are welcome, just read the book.
So many readers say Sonya feels both mystical and deeply personal. So what part of your personal life actually influenced Sonya? Maybe there's a part of Sonya that was influenced by your personal life per se.
What part of Sonia would not reflect the personal life of an everyday young girl from Nigeria? Let's think about it. What part of that life? What part of that life would, because we're growing up, oftentimes when we're growing up, our future is usually handed down to us to tell us how, when we're going to go to school, what we need to study, how we're going to end up in terms of domestic affairs, like whether you get married. In fact, it's important for every child in Nigeria or Africa to get married, because right from when you're born as a girl, someone is saying, "Oh, your wife, this one is going to make a beautiful wife." Like it's like almost like a prophecy upon your life on how the trajectory is going to look. Do you understand? So, for Sonia is that individual that's constantly try to defy the odds, the stereotype of, listen, I can be who I want to be. So as many times as I want to be. If you know what I'm saying. Yes, life is still going to happen. Yeah, but I believe that for me, and the same is the same for me, because I've won so many hearts. I've gone through lots of stuff, both in my family background, my personal, myself as an individual, my university, and all of those things. But I constantly wake up to say I'm reinventing myself, right? And I feel like the integral part of this message in Soya for me, even when we say the theme is love, identity, sibling rivalry, and all of that, I feel like that the most important is self.
Mm.
Self. I can't remember which of the philosophers said it, but it says, to thy own self be true. Be true. What exactly how exactly do you see yourself, and how exactly do you see yourself, you know, um, getting past all of the hurdles of life and just reinventing yourself and becoming, and yeah, I think that's the deep and personal side aspect of it. But the integral message of it is that just as Sonia and myself, we're not ordinary more than the ordinary person out there who is constantly seeking self, looking within, introspecting, and then constantly saying, I can become, really.
Mm. You said you did a lot of researches. You did quite a lot. So I'd like to ask, how long did it take to actually write Sonia? The processes, the challenges faced, the joy in it, the downtimes.
Hmm.
How was it?
I'll paint a picture. I conceived the idea in 2017. The book was published in 2022, right? That is not to say that I was researching all through.
Okay.
That's to say that there was research, there was pause, there was support, there was compilation, there was documentation, right? There was editing, there was rejection at some point, there was re-editing, proper editing at another point, and then there was publishing.
Talking about these challenges again, let me still hold on to this. Was there a particular time you almost gave up? Like, man, I can't do this anymore. I'm done.
I won't say give up. There was a time there was a point where I was distracted. Like I didn't even give it any thoughts at some point. Like it's not about giving up. It's just about life is happening. I'm a wife. I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I was doing so many other things as well, right? And then there will be, oh, I've written this, I put it somewhere. Someone has helped me to compartmentalize it. I've dropped it again somewhere again. I'm back at it again. I've picked up. I've sent it in for the first publication or entry, it was rejected. Then okay, coming back again and looking at it again from a third eye or a fourth eye, and then saying, okay, what can be better? Then restructuring, right? And then publishing.
Okay, if Sonya were to be adapted for film, what kind of director or creative vision would you want behind it?
Hmm. The kind of director, I wouldn't put a link to it, but I have an idea, and or rather I have a concept, and my concept is putting Soya to film will be in such a way that someone in China can watch it.
Mm.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So my concept, what it encapsulates is having an international idea for Soya. Because we have written all of this very good story. We have some people will say there's some elements of heroism and superheroes in most of the characters, if not all, in Soya. So when we want to sell this out, we should be selling it to a global audience, because even writing the book, I was writing the book for a global audience in the first place. There is no one abroad in the diaspora that will pick up Sonya and will be confused. They would read and they would understand. Just the same way you can pick up a Harry Potter book,
Mm.
and even if you do not live in Britain, you don't live in the UK, you can almost imagine Hogwarts that doesn't even exist. Does this make sense? So like I said, having a director in mind is, I do not have any human being, but in terms of direction, that is my direction.
Like, so you don't have any director in mind, but do you have like maybe an actress you think can play Sonya? Any actress at all?
I don't have an actress in mind. That is which is funny, and here's my reason, because the first time I was asked this question,
Mm.
I felt inadequate, not being able to produce, not being able to think of or match a face to Soya. But then, as Oyindamola will always find and question herself, her curiosity, aside journaling, I came to realize that even whilst writing, Soya had been more of a concept rather than a person.
Mm.
Right? So if any director is able to find the perfect face, it's totally fine by me. And I believe that even that concept went into developing the book itself, and that face that people can actually put to themselves, because anyone can actually be Soya, because it's more of a concept, it's more of an idea than one person. But in other characters, Agonju, for example, is I thought of David Oyelowo to play Agonju. Yes. When Trust me, when I was writing, when that character was being developed, it's been David Oyelowo in my mind for Ososi. For Ososi, it's been Anthony Joshua on my mind. Even though Anthony Joshua is not an actor, he's a boxer. But I'm telling you, that image has not left me. For Oko, one of the villains, it's been Burna Boy on my mind. Now, for people who say, oh, she's been talking about international actors and all of that. Now, coming down back home for Dada, what I thought of was Adedimeji Lateef, and it's been on my mind for a very long time. Even when I started to write Dada as a child, I was imagining Adedimeji Lateef. I've never met him actually, but I was imagining him as a child and then growing up to becoming Dada. So yeah, those are some of the actors that I've actually thought about. Yes.
Okay. Yoruba mythology is rich, but it's often simplified into pop culture. So what do you think people still misunderstand about it?
In Yoruba mythology, it's
Yes.
not been told well enough.
Mm.
That's the misunderstanding. And then the ones that we hear or we see, usually in this very archaic way where we watch on African Magic Yoruba, or where they are swearing and they are just, gallivanting all over the place, and you're thinking, what is this? Right? Yoruba mythology is usually sometimes even seen as barbaric. Do you understand? And there's a lot of, oh, it's diabolical, it's this, and it's just the way it's being portrayed. Now, for those people who are portrayed it that way, like I said, it's the way they understand it, and that's the way they kind of represent it. And we can't fault them. So if we have people who are thinking differently, we should give them room for it as well. Hence Soya, hence other Yoruba mythology, other works as such as this that will come in future.
Yeah. Okay, last question, please. NLNG has now introduced a prize for creative arts focused on documentary films. Yeah. If you could make a documentary inspired by Sonia, what story would it tell?
Mm. You should tell the story of the old Oyo people, because the old Oyo Empire was quite formidable. We fought a lot of wars for Yoruba people and for others in our around our borders, right? And we're quite strong, quite strong. We were, the old Oyo Empire, the Benin Empire. We were quite strong. I believe that there was a level of civilization there at the time, and we would like to see it again, or would like to um showcase it, really.
Correct. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you.